Alright guys, so basically what I'm going to go over in this video is just mainly guitar anatomy, and then just explain a few things about the guitar that's pretty important for you guys to know, so that way you guys make sure that y'all keep taking care of y'all's instrument, so that way it doesn't get damaged and you guys don't ruin what you have. So basically, let me go over some really important things here. So with the guitar, for one thing, it's made out of pretty much two things: wood and metal. Now, that meaning it's very important that you keep your instrument away from humidity, especially high humidity. If you're going to be mopping the floor, you don't leave your guitar out just because that humidity will stick to your guitar. That's very, very bad. If it's raining outside or if it's cold outside, you do not leave your window open, or you do not take your guitar outside in that sort of weather. Also, when it's really humid outside, you should not take your guitar out. Now, so there's a lot of things. The reason why is because the guitar, like I said, it is made out of wood and it will warp. And you will have a damaged guitar. In some cases, warped guitar is very, sometimes it's impossible to fix. So, and what I mean by warping is that the neck will actually bend upwards and it'll be unplayable basically, and you definitely don't want that. So you want to keep away from that. And as far as the metal goes, it'll rust and it'll corrode the metal on your guitar. So you basically just want to play sort of, well, first off, I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that can protect your guitar from that, such as like different waxes and stuff that you can get to put, to coat your guitar, to clean, to do stuff like that. But it's not really like proof, or like it's not warp proof or anything. It's just sort of to temporarily guard your guitar, and whatnot. There's different things that you can put on there, and there's a lot of people who say no, 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 but in reality, they're pretty retarded if they're telling you that. So now another thing, you definitely want to clean your guitar, but right before you play it every time, and right after you get done playing it. The reason why is because you want to maximize your string life. Basically, what I use to clean my guitar is this bottle. It's called Dr. Duck's Axe Wax. It's pretty good. Basically, it's called Axe Wax and String Lube by Dr. Duck's. So what this does is it's basically to clean off your guitar, because when you're playing it, I mean, as a human, your hands get a bunch of oils and dirt on it, and of course you can't see anything right now. I actually just washed my hands, but even if I didn't, you wouldn't be able to see anything. But as you're playing, your skin, you're rubbing up against this metal on the strings, and it's scraping your skin off, and it's scraping the oil and gunk all over your hands, all over the strings, and over time that becomes really bad because it'll corrode your strings. Now, you don't want to keep your strings on for a long time, but for the time that you do have them on, you don't want them going out really fast if you don't clean your guitar. So just get like a rag. I have this that I bought from, I believe, Guitar Center maybe, or Sam Ash Music, so it really doesn't matter. As long as you buy an instrument cloth, basically you just want to, dab a little bit of that stuff on there and just like rub it against the strings. You also want to clean off the back of your guitar neck, because sometimes, grime and stuff just gets all over. You just want to clean off your instrument pretty much every day before and after you play. So that way when you're playing, your guitar is smooth, everything's good, it doesn't feel nasty, and whatnot. Now, another thing you want to do to sort of just protect your guitar is you don't really want a lot, and I'll explain these two things right here. They're basically called pickups, but they're magnets, and they're basically the microphone for the guitar, for the strings, to pick up the noise. So you don't want, since they're magnets, you don't really want to be putting a lot of metal touching it. I know the strings are metal and it's all around here, and there's metal here and whatnot, but as far as it touching the pickup, you really don't want that. For one, you'll damage how the pickup looks. Secondly, it could be really bad for the magnet inside. So you really, really don't want to be doing that. You don't really want to be putting metal around here. You'll see some guitar players playing with the tremolo bar, putting it right there up against the strings, but it's up against the strings. It's not against the actual pickup itself. So you want to watch out for that. Now, another thing, let's see here. You definitely want to, when you're cleaning your guitar, you want to put a rag between the strings and the fretboard, to clean the actual fretboard. You don't really have to do that all the time, but just do it sometimes so that way you don't build up gunk in there and it just sounds disgusting. So let me go over a few things here about the guitar, the anatomy of the guitar. So let me go back to the pickups really quick. So basically these two things are called the pickups, these rectangles. And what they are is pretty, self-explanatory. They pick up the sound of the guitar. And you're probably wondering what this is, and you probably tinkered with it a bit and probably wonder like, hey, that's cool, it makes different sounds. But what this is it's called the pickup selector. So it selects what pickup you want to use while playing. So if you have it down, all the way down, you'll have, because this is a three-way. Some of them are 4, 5, 6, 7 ways, but generally they're only three-way for the most part, about 90% of guitars. Anyways, so if you have it all the way down, it's only going to be using this pickup down here. If you have it in the middle, or actually if you have it all the way up top, it'll only be using the pickup up here. Now let me explain something about the pickups before I explain the middle part. So the pickups, they're actually made of two coils. So there's one coil right here and then one coil right here on the top and bottom, left or right, whatever. The same thing for this one. Now, when you have it all the way down, you're using both coils. When you have it in the middle, I'm pretty sure you get the idea, you'll only be using this coil here and this coil here, but you won't be using this back coil or this back coil. And so that's what the middle pickup does, or if you have it all the way up, like I said, it uses the pickup up there. So this would be called the neck pickup, and this would be called the bridge pickup. The reason why is because it's by the bridge. The reason why this one's called the neck, obviously because it's by the neck. And you're probably wondering, what these knobs do, and you've messed with them, but basically what they are is, because for generally other guitars, everything's going to be different. Don't expect all guitars to be the same. So these two knobs, though, in this case, because we have similar guitars that are made by the same brand, and pretty much almost the same model, these two knobs are going to be volume knobs for both of these pickups, so that way you can control the volume on them. And this last one down here is going to be the tone knob. So you can mess with it, do whatever you want, you can play with it. I'll give you an example really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So when I'm playing like my heavy metal stuff or whatever, I usually play on this pickup only. So it just has that nice crisp sound. Or whatever. And then when I'm playing with the top pickup up here, it's usually during guitar solos because it has a much thicker sound. So it's just, so stuff like that, that's pretty much what I use it for. You don't really have to use it for that. Sometimes I play with it down here and stuff like that and play, it doesn't really matter. And no, I'm not trying to show off, I'm just showing you the different sounds of pretty much what I use it for. And when I have it in the middle, I usually play with the clean tone, just because it coats the tone pretty well. So what I mean by clean tone is if I'm playing stuff like, and you can have it down. So it's different sounds. It's pretty much whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong way to use the pickup selector. Now, you're probably wondering, why all this around here, all these screws and stuff like that. Basically, what that does is it's really meant to adjust your action on the guitar. Basically, what that is action is the distance between the string and the fretboard. So if you have really high action, it's pretty hard to play. If you have really low action, it's pretty easy to play. As a beginner, you guys need to play with low action, so that way it's easier for you to push down on the strings, and you guys don't get demotivated and think, oh, the guitar's too hard to play, and whatever. Basically, the lowest you can go on your on the action on the guitar, the lowest that you can go is 2 millimeters. Basically, the way to measure that is you want to get a ruler, you come over here. So let me explain this. These are called frets, these metal things. They're called frets. You don't ever play on them. In some cases you do, but you don't hold down on them. You just slightly hold your finger over the string, and that'll be something that I can teach you guys at another time. But anyways, you're going to be putting your fingers between the frets like that, not on the fret, between the frets. So what you're going to do is, to measure the action, back to that, is you'll get a ruler, mainly in centimeters, so that way you can see the millimeter amount, because 2 millimeters is going to be the lowest you can put your strings before they start buzzing. So you measure on the 17th fret, and you'll just put it down and you'll measure, and you can adjust it from here, but you're going to have to adjust both. Anyways, I know that seems pretty complicated. If I was there, I'd set your guys' guitar up for y'all pretty well. Anyways, and this right here, you won't ever really mess with this. So you don't really have to worry about that. But that's what all that is. And if you're wondering what the screws in the inside of these things are, it's basically for something called intonation, which is the fine tuning of the instrument of your guitar. And we can get to that at another point when I'm there with y'all, or when you guys are ready to intonate your guitar. So let's go back up here. Basically, this line right here is called the nut. It's just basically where the strings rest. This cover, you're probably wondering what the cover is for. If you've taken it off, you've seen inside, it looks like there's an Allen wrench thing that could go in there. Basically what that is it's to adjust the truss rod that's running through the neck of the guitar. And what the truss rod is for is to keep the guitar neck from warping. Now, can the guitar neck still warp with the truss rod? Yes, it can. That's why it's very important that you guys follow what I said in the beginning. The truss rod is there just to reinforce it, because without that truss rod, because this is made out of wood and these strings are pulling really hard on the neck to push it down that way, the neck would be bent, cracked, broken, whatever. It's basically, that's what the truss rod is there for, to keep the neck reinforced and stuck in there. Now, if you damage your guitar, in our case, because we have the similar guitar, if you look on the back, there's nothing here. There's no bolts right here or right here. The reason why is because this specific type of neck is called a set neck, meaning that the neck is set into the body. It's glued into the body with some sort of wood adhesive. In some cases, you'll see guitars where it just has 4 bolts or 3 bolts. That means that it's a bolt-on neck, meaning that if you break this neck, you can just buy a new one, pop it in, and you're good to go without any of the body getting damaged. Now, in some cases, there's something else called the neck through, meaning that the neck doesn't have the heel like this, and basically the neck just runs all the way through the body, and it's pretty good. I prefer that, or I prefer set neck or neck through. I don't really like the bolt-on neck, just because the heel of the guitar, which is this right here, this curve is called the heel, is really big, so it makes it really hard to get to these high notes sometimes, which is why I don't like bolt-on necks. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at another thing here. So these, you already know, they're called the tuning machines, these golden things right here. You just tighten them, loosen them to tune the guitar. So basically, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the anatomy of the guitar. In our case too, because we have this similar guitar, this battery cover is basically for our pickups, to power our pickups. And basically with the battery, or basically these pickups, what they're called active pickups, meaning that they require a battery to run on. Otherwise, because some guitars, the jack that you plug into the guitar into the amp will power the pickups on its own. However, though, these pickups are high output pickups and they're really meant for metal, so that's why they require a battery to power. So you'll definitely want to put a battery in there every now and then. I would say change the battery at least once every 2 months, depending on how much you play. If you play like me, I usually change my battery at least once a month. Once every 3 weeks, really. Anyways, and that's because I play my guitars all the time. It's pretty much my life, and as pathetic as it sounds, I actually really enjoy it. But anyways, so let's see here. Yeah, so you definitely want a battery for these. Some guitars don't require them, but if yours does, you need to keep up with that. So that way your guitar sounds really good. Otherwise, if you don't have a battery in there, your pickups will not work whatsoever. So that's pretty much it for the anatomy part of the guitar. If you guys have any other questions or concerns about anything, please feel free to let me know. I'll be more than happy to explain it to you guys. I definitely want you guys to understand your instrument and feel comfortable with it, know what you guys are working with, know what y'all are playing with, just because it helps overall. You guys at the end of the day will know what y'all are doing, and you'll stay motivated to keep playing. So now I'm gonna record another video for y'all, and basically I'm just gonna be giving y'all a tuning lesson basically showing you how to tune your guitar, and then I'll show you a few things how to play, so that way you guys can feel glad knowing that you can play something on the guitar. And I definitely want you guys to practice all that. So I'll explain everything in the next video.